Hello, friends. Welcome to Asking Youth Better Questions. And we got a fun question today. And this is right at the start of Genesis, where it all begins. The very first thing is God is introduced and he creates, right? And this has sparked theological debates throughout the centuries. How did he do it? Why did he do it? Who was he when he did it? And it really stemmed down to an idea that was created around the second century AD from some of our Greek philosophers. And it's known as Ex Nihilo. And that is God creating everything out of nothing. So taking the concept of pure nothing and then creating something from it. And that presents some interesting theological concerns and debates, because from that understanding, depending on your view of it, it forms who God is, how God interacts with us, what we are in relation to God. It opens up a whole ton of different questions. So the nice thing is in our doctrine in the restored gospel, we receive some clarification, which helps us. And sometimes we take that for granted, that there's a larger debate that's out there throughout Christianity, the Muslim world, the Jewish world, all of their great scholars debate what this is, how it is, and what it really means. So I want to just add some clarification, throw that out there. We want our youth to understand what Ex Nihilo is and the importance it means in Christendom, because they're going to face it, but it's not going to be called that when they're receiving it. So it's good to understand the deeper doctrines of why people believe what they believe and why we believe what we believe. So with that, I want to start with what we received in Abraham. Now we know that we have several creation stories. We have Genesis, we have the book of Moses, and we have the book of Abraham. And I want to read just the first part of the book of Abraham because it clarifies this point very specifically. And right here in Abraham chapter 4, verse 1, this is Abraham has received the Urim and Thummim. He's being shown all the universes, Kolob, and how the stars work and all this. And now God is revealing to him the creation. And in verse 1, it says, "And then the Lord said, let us go down. And they went down at the beginning, and they, that is the gods, organized and formed the heavens and the earth. And the earth, after it was formed, was empty and desolate, because they had not formed anything but the earth. And darkness reigned upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of the gods was brooding upon the face. And the gods said, let there be light, and there was light." And that's kind of where Genesis starts. It leaves out the intro there to what was happening. And then Moses, you get a much deeper intro as the gods planned all of this to happen. And this is important. Very important. It's a good thing to bring out to our youth. If you believe in Ex Nihilo, and that is that God created everything from nothing, the universe, everything that exists was created from nothingness, God himself is outside of the universe, okay? And this is why it's a very popular belief, is that God is above all things material. And the Greeks believed that the material was evil. So the physical body, everything was material. So big deal. God's outside and he creates everything. From a creation standpoint, that might not mean that much, but we need to ask our youth deeper. What will that mean then? When Christ was resurrected, he received a perfect, glorified, and immortal, eternal, physical body. Those two things can't exist together. So because those things can't exist together, you can't have God outside the universe and then yet become the universe, the physical matter that's eternal and infinite. So this created some philosophical issues, which then led and birthed the idea of the Trinity, that God does not have form or passion, that he truly is outside, and that the whole resurrection thing, that was more figurative, a kind of a a real simplistic faith and hope that you'll get to live after this life, but that it didn't really happen physically. Okay, so again, because you're believing one thing, it leads to how you have to then interpret everything else. And you don't believe in a literal resurrection. You don't believe that we will be resurrected and have a physical body after death. Those are the things that simple belief in the very beginning of Ex Nihilo and how creation happened leads to distortions of how we're going to believe God and not believe literally what happened and in that resurrection. So again, great scriptures, great to point out. We want our youth thinking about this. It's not that our Christian brothers are bad or awful in believing this. It's just the Genesis version, because it left out certain parts, is it leaves it up to human interpretation. And you can interpret it in many different ways. One full ex nihilo, maybe slightly ex nihilo. There's all different kind of creation events and theories that we'll get into on our next question. But where does it lead to, or where do you have to go to make it make sense? So those are the important questions that we want to kind of leave out there for our youth and help them understand that, yes, we do believe that God created all things and that was an organization, and that matter, both spiritual matter and physical matter, are eternal. They have no beginning and no end, and God took those and formed the earth and created us, and that we are literal spiritual children of Heavenly Father. And as we accept Christ and give ourselves to him, he becomes our Father in a physical spiritual event, and that we'll have the resurrection, and that we will get to have an eternal progression to become like him. So, and become his children. So great things, great philosophies to kind of wrestle with on what we believe and how our other brothers and sisters see the world and the universe. So hopefully we can bring more people together with just understanding that we have a difference in understanding that, but we still believe in the same God, the same Jesus, and their love for us and our eternal lives with them. So thank you, and on to the next question.